Hello, I'm John Proxy on channel John of the West. I'm having an Outer Worlds adventure. And I'm just going to let it load in. I might turn the graphics down a little bit. That's what makes it sound like a Western, isn't it? That particular instrument.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't
worry.
StarCraft did that as well. Ooh. Wanted. Guillaume Gil Antrim. From the Space's Choice Departments of Retirement, a writ of execution effective immediately for Guillaume Antrim, a former Spacer Choice associate mechanic, terminated from his position and escorted from Edgewater on grounds of unauthorized use of adrenotime. Wanted for destruction of company property, murder of company employees in good standing, theft, and unauthorized use of medical supplies. Generous bounty, payment on delivery. Must be able to sign your own name. See Constable Reyes for details. Wanted, Bertie Cotton. From the Space's Choice Department of Retirement. Writ of execution effective immediately for Bert Cotton, former vicar stationed in Edgewater. Vicarage no longer in good standing with Halcyon, a branch of Order of Scientific Inquiry, at large and dangerous. Wanted for destruction of company property, murder of company workers in good standing, sedition, and unauthorized use of medical supplies. Generous bounty, yada yada. Wanted. Doc Mabel Burgess from the effective immediately condemned on charges of dereliction of duty, disappeared from Edgewater with 2 parcels of adrenotime, at large and dangerous, destruction of company property, murder, vandalism, and unlicensed practice of medicine on seditious criminals.
A friend of mine died a couple weeks back. Still ain't past it.
Oh.
Let the boss catch you saying that.
That would be stealing. Let's not steal from the police. Ooh. I'm not sure what this terminal is, so I'm going to save my game and experiment. Okay. When life gives you lemons, consider it a free trial from your friends at the Space's Choice. Okay. Bounty records. Open bounties. Query. Guillaume Antrim. Okay, it's these things I read before. Okay, fair enough. No one in the jail.
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing up promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th one's free.
Ooh. I like that you have to purchase them as well. You need help with your marauder problem. I'm for hire.
As a Spacer's Choice constable, I am authorized to grant you legal authority toward apprehending wanted criminals. Know how to carry yourself in a fight?
Not really.
I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
I've got some questions for you, if you don't mind.
As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity.
That's an interesting phrase. Does the name Phineas Wells mean anything to you?
His likeness decorates many a wanted poster. Do you have any relevant information about this individual?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Looks like there's a bounty on his head.
You are correct. An outstanding bounty has been posted for information pertaining to the whereabouts of Phineas V. Wells.
Is it Phineas Fogg? But that name seems to be in my brain. I don't know what that is, though. It's probably a bad idea to betray the dude who just brought me back to life. He's a scientist, we're acquainted.
I am obliged to warn you against forming acquaintanceships, friendships, partnerships, or any felicitous relationship with a wanted criminal.
Okay.
I am also obliged to inform you of our referral program. For every criminal you refer to the authorities, the board will reward you.
How long has Wells been on the run?
Wells has been wanted for as long as the board decides he has been wanted. This decision will be made in accordance with Wells's behavior upon arrest. Unfortunately, the arrest of Mr. Wells falls outside my authority. I enforce the company policy of Spacer's Choice in the region of Emerald Vale. Wells is wanted by the board. If you have information related to the location of Phineas V. Wells, you are required to submit that information to your nearest board authority.
I assumed you were my nearest board authority.
I represent Spacer's Choice. Spacer's Choice is a wholly owned subsidiary of Universal Defense Logistics, which is itself a member of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation Board. Also, I specialize in processing fingerprints, so unless you're carrying Wells's finger on you, there's not a lot I can do for you.
Alright, so who do I have to talk to?
Any information regarding outstanding bounties and wanted criminals should be directed to Mr. Udom Bedford. Mr. Bedford's office is located on the Groundbreaker.
Groundbreaker? What's that?
Halcyon's original colony ship, now repurposed into a space station. Mr. Udom Bedford represents the board's interest on the Groundbreaker. Something else I can do for you?
Goodbye! Oops, gotta click on the screen. Gonna talk again, obviously.
Interesting jumpsuit you've got. And by interesting, I mean suspiciously reminiscent of contraband.
I've got some questions for you if you don't mind.
As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity.
It's grade, so I'm not sure if I can... So who do you work for? Spacer's Choice or Edgewater?
If this is a setup to a joke, you should know I've never found anything amusing in my life. I don't serve Edgewater. Edgewater and the entire region of Emerald Vale serve Spacer's Choice.
Who does Spacer's Choice answer to?
Spacer's Choice is a wholly owned subsidiary of Universal Defense Logistics, which occupies a seat on the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, also known as the Board. I must admit it bothers me that you don't already know this.
You did say before. So there was one other thing.
Something to report? As long as your questions fall within... If this is a... I don't...
So you're basically a bureaucrat.
Flattery won't get you anywhere with me.
Ah.
The bureaucracy is a noble profession, but not all of us are gifted enough to serve in it.
Alright, fine. The fact that it's grey sort of should tell me that there wasn't much to do, but I do have a new quest.
Wish we had some better rations.
Alright.
Just the way it goes, I suppose.
What do we want to investigate? Maintenance! That cannery as well. Neat. Welcome, Holcomb P. The free trouble tickets. Thompson R. AG Loader is fairly on startup. Okay, status open, priority medium. Steps to reproduce, turn on engine, try it again, kick the loader, curse the injured toes. I have to enter a minimum of 8 steps, try it again, it's making a rattling noise. Maintenance notes. Dang it, Clancy, I just got you back on your feet 2 weeks ago. Not that you've got feet, but you know what I mean. Sounds like the status off access again. We'll clean out and resit. Clancy's guts got caught and all pulled out, likely on account of somebody trying to restart him over and over. Need to rewind all the coiling in 4. Okay, status working, but something else is off. I'll have to wait until it's quiet and spin him up for a listen. There's a priority one. Failure of main cannery production line heat processing. Startup of production line according to schedule numbers. Observe processing of cans following first batch to heat processing stage 1 or more. Loud popping noises. Smoke, smell of burned salt tuna. Overheat klaxon on monitor 6. Flame jet from exhaust ports and automatic shutdown. There is, of course, third one. It's been open for 0 days. A damned mechanicals priority low. Priority automatically reset to low by executive level admin. All replied by Thompson. So what is it? Look northwise. I said look northwise, blasted useless translator. Near scrap pile. Could be northeast from town, I guess. Observe mechanical. Clanking about all menacing like. See it? It's right there. Ah, that is interesting. North from town. Okay, assuming that's not actually been added to my journal. North from town. I'm just going to write that down. N from town. It's the act of writing it down should hopefully help me remember. The bypass shunt. That I feel like would be stealing. I assume it's only stealing if you get caught, which is a interesting way to think about that. I do want to double check. Like it's only stealing if there's people who can see you do it. It's quite a big building. Welcome Robert Holcomb. Enter a keyword for a record search or hold down Control Alt F7 enter to compose a new entry. So open our search. Indumity. 2 records found. First entry. Indumity left Edgewater today. She's been reassigned to Terra 1. I kissed her goodbye at the platform and asked if we'd ever see her again. We both knew the answer was no. Look up and think of me, as I'll look up and think of you. Transcript note from individual. Robert, they wouldn't let me keep her, but I know you'll raise her with love, perhaps more than I would make the time for. You're patient and present in a way that I am not. Company says she has no name to give her one. Her name is Parvati. They tell me her birthday will be set on the date she's legally delivered to you. She was actually born on July 7th. Make her feel special when I can't. She liked it when I sang to her. It was the only time she stopped crying. And of course, the guide to mechanical engineering. I set up last night reading through this Young Spaces Guide. I almost started reading it out loud from habit. It's been 10 years, but I still have parts of it memorized. Reckon I'll take the next volume into work at the Cannery. It's an unused office where I've been taking my lunches. May as well read the whole thing again. Is that a clue then? I'm just going to take all this stuff because nobody seems to be doing anything with it. And it doesn't say anything about stealing, so I feel like that outline probably doesn't bode well, but ooh. What is this stuff for if it's not for stealing? So yeah, I'm just going to have to go through everything again and steal all this stuff. It shouldn't take me very long. Obviously the most interesting thing is this. Here. Which I can't get in yet. Oh, hang on. Lovely. Cannery.
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders coming.
Just between us.
I'm just going to look at the map. Not the right button. So... I mean, I'll go in here anyway, I guess. Okay, lost and found. Found one. Left hand, severed at the wrist. Some bone damage. People, this is our second unscheduled amputation in as many months. Please exercise caution and safely around machinery. Maintenance fees will be deducted even from your pay. Let's give this guy a hand. Guy a hand. Ooh. Vending machines offer a variety of items to purchase, mostly from one company. A hack skill of 20 or higher allows you to sell items to the vending machine. Restricted items on a vendor can be purchased when you have high enough reputation with associated factions, or a hack skill of 40 or higher. I don't think I really need anything. I've got 68 bits. Might want to start selling stuff. One-handed melee. Hang on. Okay, yeah. That would all be stealing. Fair enough. Is that better than my sword? It appears to be. Right, unequip it. No? Okay, so I've just got to get used to... Since I should keep probably the ones that I have multiples of. So I just... Okay, now I can unequip. Cool, let's... sell a bunch of stuff? No, I should junk that, shouldn't I? Cool. Then we'll sell a bunch of stuff. I suppose I should only sell stuff that actually gives me money now that I think about it. Like this stuff. The mock apple juice. Everything else doesn't really sell for much. Oh, and this lager, of course. Okay. I'll do. Right, it was making a wibbly wob on the screen. Wasn't helping. Not sure if I should be here or not. Thought there'd be more. Got some hides though. If I go this way. Okay, did I miss a bunch of stuff? Yeah, I think I did. Ooh. Oh, it's broken, isn't it? Messages from Thompson to Granger. Owing to your hard work and positive attitude, I've sanctioned your access to medical treatment in the event of contagion. As you know, the company has not provided us with enough medicine to treat every worker. I wish I could treat every member of the Space's Choice family who fell ill to this plague, but I cannot. Medical privileges are strictly merit-based. Please do not, under any circumstances, distribute your ration of medication to any other worker. We're in this together. Personal files. Let's hack it. Lovely. Last entry. Theodore buried last night. Reed asked me not to report his death in our quarter lies. Sounds fair to me. Was asked to prepare a statement or something for the other workers. Been thinking about it. Don't know what to tell them. Don't end up like Theodore. Do your work, show up, wear a smile, and you'll get your medical privileges. It's a start. I wonder where everyone is. Ooh, actual people. Phyllis! Definitely didn't just hack your computer.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
Graveside fees. I'm here to collect.
Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
These papers aren't signed in your name.
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
You have to pay for your neighbor's graveside fees?
If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
You said this guy shot himself?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Must be tough, losing family.
Eugene wasn't family.
Thought you said you were his closest living relative.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death.
Ah.
I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
Vandalism, huh? Did you have to clean bits of him off the wall or something?
First of all, that's a horrible thing to say. Secondly, yes, we did. When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
Would have. You didn't.
Look around. Edgewater ain't exactly swimming in luxury. We can't afford to pay the body price of a suicide. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives. Somebody's been spinning a tale about a lost colony ship. Talk like that'll get you reported real quick.
I'm guessing you're the foreman.
Foreman Granger, mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by yes or right away or thank you.
I'd like to talk to you about Eugene.
I paid his burial fees, didn't I? Let the dead sleep.
Alright, fair enough. Guide to, pick up Guide to Mechanical Engineering Volume 2. Well, let's read that. Young Spaces Guides to Mechanical Engineering Volume 2, a dense technical primer on mechanical engineering published by Spaces Choice. Yeah, I thought I might be able to get something from that. Interesting. From the office of Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. Symptoms of infection have now reached a critical mass. I have instructed our staff to transform the old domicile into a sick house. Plague is a reality of life on the frontier, and as Spaces we are expected to face up to reality. And that reality is that we don't carry enough medicine to treat you all. Medicinal treatment is a privilege, not a right. We must strive every day to demonstrate our worthiness of that privilege. Fair enough. Well, I mean, that's not fair enough, that's horrible, but... everything still a little bit out of my price range. I mean, presumably it's junk. Enough, I'm not quite done here yet. Isn't there a dude around here? That just takes me to the other section. I thought I might be able to fix stuff. You know, there's a bunch of stuff in my... What is that? That's a vending machine, right? Point of interest. Okay, we don't want to leave them just yet. Very tempting. Edgewater Saltina Canning Facility strictly adheres to Space's Choice standard of health and safety. Schedule your sick leave with your Space's Choice foreman and or supervisor. Be considerate towards other members of Space's Choice family. Allow 2 to 4 weeks to process and approve your scheduled sick leave. Lost hours must be compensated to the company. Read if you're having trouble paying for your sick leave. Remember, work invigorates the spirit. Sickness in the body reflects sickness in the mind, sickness in the character. If you find yourself falling ill, it may be time to schedule a meeting with our local vicar. Ha! Whew.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Those creatures. From the ground. Good.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
You Reed, I was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I don't work for Space's Choice.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Frying myself?
Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Yeah. When you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
I don't think these people will take kindly to losing their power.
No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Why?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
I've seen Edgewater. I don't blame those workers for walking out.
Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
How will I recognize Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
These workers must have left town for a reason.
That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
Alright, Reed. I'll see what I can do to help you.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
Sweet.
You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Sure could use the company.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get going. C&B New Manager Seminar. Companions. You've gained a companion. They are characters that join you in your adventures and help in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support. Their skills enhance your skills. They increase your carrying capacity. You can unlock special companion combat abilities with the inspiration skill. Wonderful. See if he's got anything else.
If you could see your way to getting us our power back, I'd appreciate it.
I wanted to talk to you about something.
Go ahead.
We need to have a word about this plague.
Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up.
How long has this plague been happening?
That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent.
Medical 11. You should have developed an immunity after the repeated exposures to a single strain of contagion.
Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end.
You withhold medicine from your own workers?
If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose.
It can't be easy for you.
It is not easy for me. And the moment it becomes easy is the moment I am no longer fit to serve. Spacer's Choice is a family, and the survival of the family is more important than the survival of the individual.
I'm not sure I have a... because I assumed he was evil. And he still might be, but what he is, he's considerably better politician than that doctor. I'll do what he says, but like Adelaide might give me other things to do.
Go ahead.
Have you taken a look around your town lately?
It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post.
How long have you worked here?
I'm trying to remember, 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that.
Your town's falling to pieces.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
You disagree?
Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do.
You're loyal to Spacer's Choice.
This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude. Something on your mind? Go ahead.
What makes you think I can convince those deserters to come back?
That you or not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town.
Sometimes people move on. It's the way of things.
Scripture tells us we all have our purpose in the world. Our work shows us that purpose. We should not have to move on from it. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on.
Ah, damn it, my perception's not good enough.
Go ahead.
If you expect me to talk to this Adelaide person, I could use a little information.
Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible.
How's a cysty pig? Don't you people eat anything other than saltina?
Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by, what with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world.
Hang on. So what are you canning here exactly?
Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate.
I bet.
Go ahead.
We are just about ready to go. I do have a companion, though.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Fair enough. Reed's key, eh? I wonder what that did.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Right, I think I'm going to let you go, since it's pretty much 45 minutes, and we just left the mayor's...
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
Yeah, we can. On the next episode, I've been John Foxy on the channel John of the West. I've been having an Outer Worlds adventure. Not an Outer Wilds adventure. I had one of those as well. Really should finish that. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.